Welcome back to Ultimate Combat Radio. Mike Stidham here talking about the City Weekly article on yours truly here. And I'd like to invite those listening to call us, man, and weigh in on this thing. Brandon, how would they go about doing that if they were so inclined to do so?
They would call us at 405 or 670-1280.
Awesome. Okay, well, yeah, call and let's have a little chit-chat about it. Now, we before we went to the break, we were talking a little bit about Charlie Kent, the guy that he's a West Valley City police officer, and he apparently was upset with me because I lined him up with a gang member, and he thought that was kind of a tacky thing to do.
No, my understanding was that he went into a fight and he found the guy was tatted up with what he felt was sort of gang signs, and that this guy had some kind of outstanding felony warrant. And so he felt that it was a bad joke on your part to match him up with somebody who was essentially a criminal. So you have cop criminals sort of going against each other.
Well, we just looked up his fight record, and there was nobody that he fought that even fit that description. So the only person that he fought that had gang tattoos on it was a straight edger that he fought in Jeremy Horn's show, Robert Densley. I wonder if he carries the same sentiment for Jeremy Horn for hooking him up with that straight edge kid. All right, let's move on, man. That really has nothing to do with you. I was really kind of bothered by the fact when you have a guy that can, I let him come to my gym for free, and then that's the thanks you get for it. It's really kind of disconcerting for me. Let's talk about Bill Colbert and Greg Hughes. Let's get back to that for a minute. Now, you said that Greg Hughes claimed to have moved the commission because he thought I was being treated better than Eddie Flash Newman.
That's what he told me.
Now, Eddie Flash Newman falsified HIV test documents. That's not disputed.
Well, what Newman says is that a fighter in California faxed him
That's a lie.
This is what he says. It's his version. Faxed him a HIV license saying he was fine, as it were, and it turned out to be false. And then the commission jumped on him, and so he decided not to renew his license. That's Newman's version.
That's absolutely not true. I was there when it happened, and he faked the document, and they were going to go after him criminally, but Greg Hughes talked them out of it. So let's get that straight. So now Greg is claiming that I was somehow being treated better than I didn't fake any HIV documents. So if he felt I was being treated better, it's maybe because I wasn't committing fraud.
I think he felt you were being treated better was because you Newman had gone to the commission with like a fight card that was a week to run.
One phone call.
And they had kind of come down on him hard. This was a year after the...
Are these Newman's words or are these Kent's?
Can I just finish? And whereas you had gone to the commission with a fight card the day of the commission hearing, and that they had kind of given you an easy ride, and they had given Newman a really hard time. Kent has nothing to do with this.
Yeah. Okay, all right, we got a caller. I understand. Who's on the line? Shane, what's going on, Shane?
Hey, Mike, I read the article one time through, and before I read the article, I have an overall positive impression of you and have been grateful for what you've done for MMA in Utah. And after I read the article, I still had a positive impression. And if anything, I thought it cast you in an overall positive light despite all the drama.
Well, then I take it all back. Shane, I appreciate the call. And, we talked about that a little bit. We kind of felt like if you hated me already, it's not going to make you hate me any more or any less. If you liked me already, you weren't going to like me any more or any less. But it's the guy that in fact, this was Chris Killaley's words. He's one of the sponsors of the show. He says, look, if a guy was thinking about fighting, if the guy he never heard about you and he's thinking about fighting and he read that article, he would think, I don't really want to go with that guy. He's kind of shady. So
if anything, it made me wonder what's going on with the commission. I thought it raised more questions there.
Sorry.
Okay, I was making sure that that Stephen could hear what you're saying. He doesn't have earphones on, so he said that if anything, it made him wondering what's going on at the commission. What's going on over there?
Which is your question.
That was my question. That was what we were hoping to answer. I was online for weeks leading up to this saying, finally, someone's going to tell the story about the commission. Finally, someone's going to, let people know what's been going on over here. And then it came out and went, everybody's going, hey, you told us we were going to hear something cool. Shane, I want to thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it.
Hey, you bet. Thanks.
All right, man. So, you have a response for that?
Well, just summarize
when he basically said, if anything, at the end of the day, I was wondering what was going on with the commission. It seems like there's something there that I didn't really get told.
I disagree. The commission, the story of how the commission was formed is already out in the public arena 4 years ago when the Trib did the story about Hughes' involvement with it. That story wasn't told in its entirety, but it's 4 years old, and
It's 4 years old because nobody dares talk about it.
But I think a more pertinent point is that if Hughes did this to give boxing a big boost in the arm, where's the boxing? I mean, the numbers are exactly the same 4 years ago as they are now.
Purpose. I don't think he did it for that purpose.
So what purpose did he do it for?
It was Eddie Flash Newman got his license taken away, and he didn't like that. That's exactly what his friend got his license taken away. He went and tried to save his friend's license, and they said no.
Everybody that I've talked to, and I made it a point to ask anyone sort of related to the commission, has Hughes had any involvement since 2007? They've all said he's had no involvement. So this comes down to...
I showed you an email where he said he would have involvement.
He would have a conversation with
was
his friend Bill Colbert. I was thinking more in terms of him saying to the commissioners, "I want you to do this. I want you to
I don't
support
think.
boxing
I don't
against
think
MMA."
Greg Hughes is a bad guy. I just think the way things happened went down was very shady. Number one, and then number two, the person that he put in place, and this is where I have real heartburn with the comment that he made in this interview, was that he feels like he put the right guy in the right place after he just got through with a hearing where he made up 17 allegations against me, none of which held any water, burned up a ton of resources, made me sit on the sideline for 3/4 of a year, and there's no apology made. It's, no, we got the right guy, shish kumbaya, he's doing a great job.
Is there a question there?
There is a question there. That's not a story. Bill Colbert.
I thought I told that story. I mean, that was again part of the story. That was the last section of the story.
That was the story that got told beside the story. It wasn't a story that was in the magazine. It was
a story that was in the magazine. The months that what happened post your conviction, and sort of the months while you were waiting for them to kind of pull their finger out and do this license application issue, and the allegations that didn't result in anything, and essentially what's the word I'm looking for? They agreed to sort of like not pursue you, and you kind of walked away with essentially not even a hand slap. Is that correct?
I should have had a hand slap. I didn't do anything wrong.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, is that what happened? I mean, that's essentially what I told at the end of the story.
Now, here's the one thing that I got mad about. The rest of the stuff, I said, okay, he's trying to be fair and balanced. I got mad about one thing. We had a conversation about an allegation that had been made about me. It wasn't even an allegation that was made. It was somebody was telling rumors that weren't true. I sued and won for that. And it involved a word that I can think in the English language. There are 2 or 3 words that are more inflammatory, and the N word, the F word, the C word, and the rape word. And you not only said that there was a lawsuit that involved a rumor of me raping somebody, you added your own little part to it that said raped a young girl. And that to me was such a shot, especially after we had the conversation about it. You said there was nothing ever happened with that case, so I'm not even going to bring it up in the article, yet you did.
That was in the appeals, the appeals court ruling on sort of that lawsuit that you had filed, and I read that, and I just felt that one of the things that kind of spoke to was just how that guy who was kind of going after you, making these spreading these rumors and making your life so difficult. I just felt that was kind of part of the story at the end of the day.
You know what? You told me you weren't going to say anything about it, and you did, and that's where I have heartburn. And the reason for that is, again, the mere implication of that is so damaging. It's so damaging, and it's one of the things that I've never hidden from. In fact, I told you about it openly, and you said, "Oh yeah, I've already read about that." So it was just that the mere having your name mentioned in the same sentence as that is a pretty hurtful thing, and that's where I got really pissed off at you. I'll be honest.
Break time.
Well, I can.
All right. Well, with that,
I don't know what to say to you. I mean, I read it in the court documents, and I felt that it was kind of part of the story.
After you told me you weren't going to say anything about it.
Well, at that point, I couldn't decide what to make of it.
Yes, you should realize I have kids that read. I have kids, friends that read. and it's stuff it's a pretty hurtful thing to say. Unless there's something you can back it up and substantiate it, something I'd steer real clear of. That's just my advice for you. I really want to thank you for coming on the show. You've been a good sport. I got a lot of respect for you. I don't have any ill will toward you, and I wish you the best.
I feel exactly the same way, Mike. Thank you for your time.
Okay, we're going to take a break now. We're going to come back, talk a little UFC when we come back.